finance, isn't it?
Well, good evening and welcome to Tiger Talk on Hull and Back podcast and on Humber Wave Radio. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll introduce everybody in a second. But we must tell you that we are sponsored tonight by the carmusgo.co.uk, and if you want more information, here it is.
Looking to buy or sell your next car or van? At thecarmustgo.co.uk, we make it easy. We are proud to be your trusted local Hull business, with 5-star Google reviews from happy customers across East Yorkshire. We buy and sell quality cars and vans, all with a full mechanical check, MOT and warranty included. So call in and see us today at Rugby Street in Hull, or visit us online at thecarmustgo.co.uk. We buy, we sell cars and vans.
Yeah, so if you're looking to buy or sell a car, then go to thecarmusgo.co.uk. They do vans as well. Good evening to you, Becca.
Evening, Eddie.
She's got a Sunday name up there, and then I want to call her Rebecca because she's got a Sunday name up. Oh, don't have your Sunday name up. Evening to you, Jan. You're muted. Yeah, she's muted. That's right, Jan. I can see she's muted. Can she get the button? There she goes. Evening, Jan.
Yeah, I don't think you can shut me up by muting me. Evening, Eddie.
I'm hoping to shut you up by muting
No
you,
chance.
I can tell
No
you.
chance.
Good evening to you, James.
Good evening.
And evening to you, Paul.
Good evening.
I won't have to mute you two, I don't think. I think I'll be all right there. It'll just be Jan that I might have to mute tonight. Welcome, everybody, and thanks very much for joining us. We will talk a little bit about lots of things tonight. We've got the signing of Paddy McNair that's just been announced about an hour ago. We've also got the game that we managed to get a win from on Saturday. I was a little bit sweating at times on that one. We'll talk a little bit about if you've got your FA Cup ticket yet and how easy you found it or how hard you found it. I'll tell us. We can tell our experience on that. Let's tell you that. Anything else that comes up on the podcast tonight. Let's get your comments up because that's one thing I haven't done yet. So Owen says, evening, Owen. Lee says, evening. He's got his popcorn at the ready. Thanks, Lee. And another Lee says, evening all. Evening to you as well. Good to have you all watching tonight, and it promises to be a fun show. So Saturday, was you sweating as much as me, Becca?
I absolutely was. We rode our luck there, didn't we? At times, we just seem to have got into the knack this season of trying to carve out results when it looks as if the chips are against us. So they did a great job really hanging in on there and making sure Swansea didn't nick a point away from us. So I'm really pleased with the team after that result.
Yeah, they did hang on well. I was a bit nervy at times. They had a fair few chances, did Swansea.
We seem to be letting people come too much onto us rather than trying to control the ball in that third. And it does sometimes get concerning and worrying, like you said, that those moments where you just start thinking of what are they going to do? Can we keep this out? Especially with the way goal difference has been this season. But hopefully Paddy McNair will bring a solid head at the back with his experience and kick on from there, hopefully.
We'll talk about Paddy McNair in a little while, but Sergey said, Jan, that it was the 3 games in a week thing. Some players carrying knocks and things like that doesn't make it easy. What's your thoughts?
I think I'd say it was the same for most clubs, wasn't it? Because there was a full fixture list in the middle of the week. So I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure he had the right starting 11, and I get why. Well, obviously we understand that Crooks was injured, but I might have been tempted to leave him out anyway because he's 1 card away, isn't he, from a suspension again. But
we do miss him when he's out, though, Jan, don't we?
Oh, absolutely, we miss him when he's out. And I'm a big Kyle Joseph fan, and I just don't think. I think he was still slightly injured. I just
Yeah.
a bit like Becca said. I mean, I was like, it was like fingernail biting. And was it only 3 minutes at the end, or it was 3 minutes at the end of the first half, wasn't it? We thought it was going to be a lot longer added time.
Yeah.
But after Preston, where we played so well both halves, I thought, here we go. This is going to be all right. And it wasn't, was it?
It's probably took a lot out of them, though, all that travelling. They've done a lot of travelling that week. They've had 2 games. As you say, the Preston game was, absolutely solid.
Or an aeroplane. How hard's that?
Yeah, but it's still, whether it's the bus or an aeroplane, whatever, it still takes it out of you, doesn't it?
But doesn't it take it out all the other clubs that played midweek as well? Because everybody.
No, I'm sure it does. But I think that when you look at the knocks and the injuries that we've got, I can understand it a little bit because we are trying to play. I think some players that have got knocks and they're getting bumps and bruises here and there, and I do understand why he said it was maybe the 3 game in a week syndrome. What do you think? Sorry, carry on, Jan.
I think we pressed enough. I think we gave them too much space.
Yeah, I agree. We did give him a bit too much space. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I do think he definitely will play a factor. There'll be other teams in the division who've also probably played at home twice this week, where we've played 2 away games. So it's always going to be tougher when you're following a home fixture from sort of 2 lengthy away journeys as well. I did think, like mentioned we rode our luck. Vipotnik's first chance, I said at the time, I think it was easier to miss than it was to score. Obviously, we got away with 2 of them chances, and they seem to be getting in quite a lot down their left-hand side, sort of where Coyle was. We seem to be getting caught out a fair bit, but it seemed to quieten down a bit after we obviously scored the penalty, and then I thought we kicked on from there in the first half, and then it was really, really turgid in the second half, where I think it was probably about 10-15 minutes where it was just set piece after set piece, where we were just trying to absorb so much pressure. And I agree with what Rebecca was saying. I think at times we're allowing teams too much room to do that, and we have gotten away with absorbing that pressure at times this season, but it is going to bite us in some games, I think. And I appreciate we came away with the 3 points, and it was a good result in the end.
Vipotnik, I think his head was still in Wales on Saturday, says Lee Eade. Isn't Vipotnik, I can't say the name, supposed to be the league's top scorer, says Louise. Yeah, it's a fair point. He had some chances, he certainly did. And Lee said, we played well. Swansea just adjusted at half time and tried to break us. Thankfully, Sergei changed it up also. Yeah, he did change it up, and he did manage to change it, didn't he, Paul?
Yeah, he did. I mean, people are saying we're lucky. I think it's the fact that there isn't really a team in the division that's got a prolific goal scorer. He's the top scorer in the division, isn't he? The Swansea lad. It was easier to score that goal than miss it, really. I mean, he's done well to miss it. So is it luck, or is it just poor players and poor finishing? That's my argument. It's not luck. Luck's if somebody shoots and gets a deflection and takes the goal in the wrong way. Look at somebody 3 yards out with an open goal who puts it wide. That's just poor play. So I don't agree that we was lucky. I think, we let them onto us a bit too easily, like Rebecca said, beginning of the second half. But they had doubt to lose. They're 2-0 down. They're going to throw a bit at us, aren't they? And as I say, he could have made it 2-2 at half time. He had another chance. It was a little bit more difficult, to be fair, but it should have definitely been 2-1 at half time. He should have scored that first goal. So it's not luck, it's just poor finishing. And when you look at the goal scores, I mean, McBurney's been out for about 8 games, I think, and it's 6 or 8 games, and he's 2 goals off being the top goal scorer or something in the league. So it just proves it's not a strong league where strikers are. I'd have backed McBurney to score at least one of them 2, and Joseph. So it's just poor finishing in my eyes. And I think their goal was a little bit lucky because somebody stood right in front of our keeper. I think in the Premiership, VAR ruled that out because he couldn't come across to collect the ball. He was stood right in front of him and he was offside. So it should have been ruled out, but obviously VAR isn't in the Championship. So they got away with it a little bit there. And then we've had Joseph nearly got the tap in after the shot by you. So I know we played bad for about 20 minutes in the second half, but I think after that, when he made the changes, it was a pretty even game. Egan had one header just about a foot or so wide. It was a good run, just couldn't clip it in. So I'm not as unhappy about the display as a lot of people seem to think. you know, I don't think it is luck. If people miss goals, that's not luck. That's bad finishing. So we're
Certainly
scoring
is.
the goals, so you can't argue with it.
Oliver says the XG, which is expected goals. Yeah, we know all about these expected goals. It's stupid, isn't it? And these expected goals, nerds, would have been annoyed that Swansea didn't convert their gilt edge chances. You're right. And sorry, Owen says Slater only scores crackers. He certainly does, doesn't he? It was a cracking goal. Really enjoyed that goal from Regan Slater, and really well deserved. He's played so well in the last sort of couple of months. He's really come on in the last couple of months. It's really good for him to get the goal. And Lee says, how about that you dribble? Wow, that was something. And he's right, you know, I think, you know, the strength in depth in the side is starting to come through now that we're getting some of these signings in. And obviously, you know, they want to try and push on, and they want to try and looking like it, they want to try and push for this top six, don't they, Becca?
Absolutely. I think we've been, you know, up there, really competing with the best. We've been massively misunderestimated, and like over the last few days, that's caused a bit of controversy on the old social media. But we deserve to be where we are. We've done well. We've took our chances. We've ground results out. We've not always been the easiest team to play against, as much as we've been, you know, given some unflattering names. But we've done well. We've really done well. That togetherness that the team's got is, you know, money can't buy that. So I really hope the Opta stats stay in our favour, and we do stay in that top six and get promotion like it's suggesting.
Yeah, no, I think so. The club need to update their site, by the way. So if Hull City are watching at the moment, you've got a lot of players that we've signed that you haven't uploaded to your site yet. So get on with it. Get these players uploaded so that we don't have to mess about looking at other things. I can actually just look at your site and see the players on there. Jan's mad with me already tonight, and Jan's going to be mad with me even more later. I can tell you now. I can tell it's going to go off tonight. I really can. But yeah, some good signings coming in, Jan. And, you know, obviously, even though we're under this transfer restriction, I have to get the words right because I get bollocks if not. We're under a transfer restriction.
You can't say that word.
I can say bollocks. Transfer restriction, we're still doing well, aren't we?
Absolutely, we are. I mean, I'm quite pleased about McNair. I mean, I don't know how fast he can run. I think perhaps the only pace we've got in defence is going to be Hughes, isn't it? Because the others aren't particularly fast, are they? But I guess that, you know, the experience probably makes up for that. And at least we've got a fallback, haven't we? If Shemi takes a long time, or if Egan gets injured, I'm quite happy with that. And, you know,
or if Hughes gets signed by somebody.
I don't think he will. I mean, certainly
I'm just putting it out there.
No, I don't think he will. And you know what? To be fair, it was him that lost his player on Saturday for their goal. So I just think he needs to play alongside the likes of McNair and Egan and Shemi even, just to, because I do think he's got a little bit more, not cautious, because that is fair, more refined than he was when we first got him. And there's no doubt he's going to be Premier League, but I don't think he's the finished article yet. I just don't.
Paddy McNair signed an 18-month contract with the squad, with the team, with an option of a further 30-year-olds, Paddy McNair. What do you think about the signing, James?
I think I like the approach compared to what we did a couple of seasons ago when we had the January under a senior, where we kind of just went for star quality in that window, and it upset the apple cart a bit in the team. I think going for sort of just proven, experienced heads in the Championship that have sort of been there and done it, just to pepper them throughout the side and help us kind of, you know, get over the finish line. It can only benefit us, you know, in the long term across the season to have those people in the dressing room. And you can tell, I mean, I think there's I don't know if it's real or not, but there's a picture been going around of Crooksy, Dowell, Ollie and McNair all together in the pub. And I think it does seem like they're going to just fit right in, because a few of them lads seem to know each other, and that's going to do is, you know, wonders for our dressing room morale and for the rest of the season. It's just going to, I really do think we can dare to dream, really.
We've got a good mix of youth and experience in the squad at the moment, Paul. Yeah,
we have. Yeah, I think we've had some really shrewd signings in the summer, and these signings we're making at the moment seem shrewd signings. They've all got experience. They've all played at a reasonably high level. And it can't harm, can it? You know, when it comes to days like maybe the Swansea, the 20 minutes when we can't get out of it, these sort of people put their heads there and get the feet there and make the tackles, and you know it can't do us any harm at all. You know, experience, and I think they all get on. That's the good thing. They're all sort of towards the end of the careers there. I say, I don't know, I hope not, but you know, towards the end of the careers a little bit, and I think they're wanting to prove themselves a little bit. You know, and I think that's what's come through. To be quite honest, you know, I mean, Matt Bainey's probably having his best season. I wouldn't say ever, but not far off his best season ever. The goals he's scoring, his assists, and he seems right up for it all the time, doesn't he? He's had one or two poor games, but you know they all do, don't they? It's, you know, the championship. You're not always going to be 7 and 8 out of 10, but I think the signings have been really good. I think they've been positive signings for us, and I think now we can kick on. We're safe, so why not just kick on and just try and get in that top 6? In fact, I don't think we're far away from the top 2, to be quite honest.
agree.
I really
Well,
do.
Tom,
I think if we push on a bit-
Tom agrees with you. He's put top 6. I genuinely think we could get top 2.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah, I
with
don't
him.
disagree.
Lee says
Yeah.
Lee says there was a few fans criticising the Swansea away support that travelled upon Saturday. I've done the reverse journey several times, and it's not an easy journey. So
No.
fair play to the Swansea
It's
fans
not.
that
Yeah,
travelled. It is a
definitely.
horrible drive. It really is a horrible drive. Sergey said, "Dare to dream higher post match," and yeah, well, we're happy to dream higher. Louise said, "We are not fourth because we're relied on others losing. We're there on our own merit and deserve to be there." I agree.
Yeah.
What else we got here? The fact that we didn't completely crumble and fall apart when Swansea got back to 2-1 shows why we're fourth on 50 points. We've got the grit, determination, and work ethic to deal with difficulties, says Oliver. Yeah, all these things are positive comments. Everything's really positive. Don't Palace still want him? He's talking about Hughes, he's owing, I
You
think.
won't
and-
go there. Why would you go there now?
I
It's
don't
in a
know,
mess.
Jan, but
I think
you
it'd be
know,
a bad move for him.
it's Premier League, isn't it? These are the things that you know. These are the things
Yeah,
that
but
attract
they're
them.
not guaranteed to stop there. They're only, you know, it's 8. I think it's 8 points above or something like that, above the
And the
bottom
manager-
3. And they aren't doing that well. The manager's going. They've lost 2 of the better players. The centre forward Matata's already said he wants to go at the end of the season. So is he going to be putting it in? You don't know, do you? I don't think it's a good move
I mean,
for
to
him.
be
I
fair,
really
they're not.
don't. Apart from
They're
the
not
money.
going to go down, are they?
They could do.
They're not going to go. They're not going to go down. They're on 28 points. I mean, that
Yeah,
team that playing white from West Yorkshire that we won't mention the name of. I'd really hope that they come down ahead of Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
to be quite
I
honest with
actually-
you.
They
do,
will,
but I
but
don't
they aren't
think they
out of the woods yet. I don't think. You know, everything's going wrong at the moment at Palace, and for a young lad of 20, what is he, 21 to go there, I don't think it'd be a good move at the moment. Apart from his wages, but you know that's
Yeah.
up to him.
Owen says, never mind that staying in the playoffs. We're coming for the top 2 up the Tigers. And yeah, there's a chance of that. There is a chance of that. But let's not get too carried away at the moment, is what I would say. It's still a difficult one. I agree with Paul. The thing is now, we are actually safe on 50 points, I would say. And that is a really big thing to be safe, considering where we were last season. So, you know, to be safe, it's a really good thing. We'll go on there. We've talked a little bit about the game. We've talked a little bit about new signings. I'm going to go on now and ask you all. Thanks for watching, by the way. Lots of you watching tonight. I'm sure there's lots listening as well on Humwave Radio. You can get in touch with us on whatever you're watching on. So just do us a comment, or you can message us on WhatsApp 01482 772 663. And I want to ask you, how easy was it for you to get your FA Cup ticket? Was it easy or was it hard? Jan, come to you first.
Well, it wasn't me, it was John. But John just said it was a doggle. I'm sure he'll tweet it if you're asking it. John said it was a doggle. Follow the instructions on the email you got, and he got it in 2 minutes.
Well done, John. Becca.
The instructions seem very straightforward, but unfortunately, I am having to duck out because it's my wife's birthday, which I am absolutely fuming and gutted about. We'd already planned to go away, so it's heartbreaking for me.
So somebody's going to get your ticket then, Becca.
Absolutely. But
You could have bought it and sold it for a massive profit, Becca.
well, I know, but it just seems wrong when we was only complaining not so long ago about the cost of the tickets at the minute for people who want to.
Oh, I'll come on to the cost of the tickets. Don't you worry about that, Becky. You're queuing me up already for that one. James, have you got your ticket yet?
I think we was having some trouble with getting them. So it's the person who's got the holder of all the passes on our account is trying to sort them out, but they need to ring the ticket office tomorrow just to try and see what's going on.
Surprise, surprise, James. Surprise, surprise. That's what happened with me and Paul as well, because let me tell you, I usually buy all the tickets. So I've got me dad, Paul, right? I've got Jim, and I've got Mike, who I go on and I buy the tickets for all the time. They're all my linked members. They're linked to my account, all that lot. Can you do that when you want to buy an FA Cup ticket for Chelsea? Can you nothing? You've got to get that person to authorize you to buy their ticket. Now, there was already saved on my account, already linked to my account. Why am I having to mess about linking people? So, Mike, he struggled through. He managed to get it done. Jim came round here and I did it for him. Me and Paul was on the phone. I was even on the phone with your wife, Tracy, for about an hour the other night, weren't we, Paul?
Yeah. Did we get it to ring the next day?
Did we get it done?
No,
we had to ring the ticket office the next day.
What
I will say is, what a farce.
Well, I can't understand. I think I can't say an exact amount, but when we played Chelsea in the replay years and years ago at Bulfrey Park, I think there was something in the region of 40,000 people there. And I bet you any money, it was a lot easier then to get a ticket and get in the ground than it is for this match. I guarantee it.
I just cannot believe that how hard they have made it to buy a ticket when you remember. I can't believe the price of the ticket when you remember. There's lots of good things going on the pitch at the moment. And what I'd like to, you see, I've come on tonight and I'm going to say this, and probably people are going to shout me down. I don't really care because they always do. I think the club are doing great on the pitch. I think the club are really good at social media because there's just little posts here and there where they go visit somebody or they get one of the players to go talk to somebody off the pitch or stuff like that. Look how good we are. One family, one dream. It's not like that. If you are a Hull City fan at the moment and you think that it's one family, one dream, then I don't agree at the moment. I think that, it's there's lots of things that Hull City could be doing far better than they are at the moment. Jan, you can tell what you think.
No, to be fair with you, I do agree. So you better put this in your diary.
Oh, God, we've agreed with something, Jan.
There are parts of it that they're very, very savvy, aren't they, on the PR? They are. Because some of the stuff they've done, if the last regime had done it, there'd have been absolute uproar. And now you can be pro or against the last regime, but it's absolutely true. But he's got a pass because of the manner that him and his extrovert way and the way, but equally there are things that I think, like the stuff the stewarding on the buses, that's an absolute own goal for me. They should have consulted with the fans groups and whatever. And as you were saying, or Becca was alluding to last week, some of the rewards to the fans, it doesn't seem very equitable. So in that respect, I do agree with you. But there are other bits that they get absolutely spot on, and that's fine by me. But no, I do agree with the way I did. So you put it in your diary.
I'll put that in my diary. Jan's agreed with me tonight. James, what do you think?
I agree with everything that's already been said. It's the club's really good at social media, like you say, and I think they're good at interacting. Like you bringing his shirt onto to that young lad who'd been bullied. That was a really nice touch, and I think the club have kind of.
You do realise that he didn't get you shirt. He actually got McBurney's shirt, and then you kept his shirt on. So
no, I didn't know that.
They got that a little bit wrong because when we watched you go over to the lad because we was going out that way, and you goes over to the lad, has a little chat with him. The lad's already got McBurney's shirt, so you don't give him his shirt. Well, it says on social media, I'm going to give him his shirt. Why didn't he give him his shirt?
I'd rather have McBurney's.
No, of course you would, Jan, and I'm not. But what I'm saying is that, he should have just got you shirt as well, shouldn't he?
We could really, I don't know, so he could have taken it off. But we did notice that because John said, well, he hadn't taken his shirt off, so he's either giving him a spare one, But whether they swapped it later, I guess if you ask Tiny Tiger's mum, she might say. But
yeah, might do, and we might find out. But yeah, that's what I saw. But you are right, James. Yeah, it's nice of them to do that, and it's good that they have done that. And, it's good that they're seeing these things on social media. But, as Jan said, they need to be doing more across the board rather than just for a select few is my problem, is it's always a select few. It's never across the board for everybody. What's your thoughts on it, Becca?
Well, yeah, my thoughts on this, Eddie. I don't think it's equitable from the ownership at all. They do a fantastic job at putting that PR out, like you say, hitting those benchmarks in terms of appearances. But when it actually comes down to it, where's the equity? Where's the equity for members in terms of this fast with tickets at the minute for Chelsea? Why have the club not put anything out on social media or anything like that? So
they don't reply to you, Becca.
No,
you send a tweet to them. I got replies the other day, and other people helped me to find out what the problem was and said that you need to do this, because I did have my ticket at the top. John's put on here, did you go to the top with a red dot? Yes, I did. But there's only one ticket that I can buy on that red dot, and that was my ticket. It wasn't my dad's, Mike's and Jim's. So then I had to get them. And then when all that happened and my dad had rang the ticket office the day after and done all the things that he needed to do, yes, I could buy all 4 tickets. But I thought, I would exactly. If we've got people that are already linked to our account and they've let us buy tickets for these people before, then surely they're already they're already a link to you. You haven't just linked some randomer. You've had to put the pass number in and stuff like that to get them linked to you. So
precisely.
Why are they making it so difficult? I don't get it.
It's bizarre. They're not really demonstrating much accountability across the board in that sense to me. And people pay memberships for a reason. Where are you showing, that accountability back to your members when you're not meeting them at least halfway in terms of equity with evenings with a Jean or going to Turkey and that type of thing? It's not fair. They need to look at the way they approach it and try and, work on that moving forwards. Otherwise, it's just going to get to a point where people think, do you know what? Why am I bothering? I think
it could get to a point where it becomes, a little bit
tedious.
Toxic at times again. I think that could happen if they don't start to manage this the right way. What's your thoughts, Paul?
Well, it was messy for you to get my ticket. I actually rang and pressed on the tickets one first, and she just said, sorry, we're busy, and put the phone down, recorded message. So I pressed the third one. It said exactly the same. Ring back later because we're busy. Then I pressed the number 1. It was for members number 1, but I thought, well, I'm not really looking at my membership. I'm just looking to get a ticket. So I maybe got it wrong, but that went through. But the other 2 just cut you off straight away, which is a bit stupid, realistically, isn't it? If you are ringing to get a ticket,
especially when the ticket office is only open for a limited amount of hours. I got it wrong the other day when I tweeted out because I said it was 12:30, but that was I found that on the internet. It's actually open till 4 o'clock, I think, at the moment is the ticket office, but it is still limited hours. And if you're working, all day, you're going to struggle to get through, the times that you need to get through to them and talk to them. Ian asked me, can I ask who we class as the select few, Eddie? Well, Ian, look, if you don't know the select few are by now, then you'll never know. You've seen them all over social. You see the people that go to Turkey. You see the people that get invited into various different, small gatherings and stuff like that. So you know who goes to these things. And I'm saying that I don't think that any of these things, I don't think that Turkey's right. I don't think that some of the events that they do are right. I think that it's too limited and there's not enough space for enough members to go. And I think that they could do a lot better things to feel like
late in the day as well when he tells you, innit?
It's massively late in the day. It don't give you any chance to do it. It's probably sometimes it's not even a day's notice, is it? And how are you supposed to do that when you've got a day's notice? So this is what I'm talking about. I've said before, instead of going to Turkey, instead of sending these people to Turkey, why don't he give everybody a free scarf?
But that would cost him. That would cost him. Whereas this comes courtesy of Corendon. I mean, the issue that I have with Turkey, and I know my answer we've been, but equally, I've got a membership and my husband's got a membership. Because I took John as my other person, because it was me that supposedly came out the draw, he can't go again. Well, that's not fair either, because he's got a membership in his own right. But it's not that, because that'll come courtesy of Corendon Airlines, won't it? So that'll be part of the sponsorship. The issue I have is that group that you keep talking about, they seem to go repeatedly on that same aircraft. Now, do the sponsors know that that they are guests of the chairman? I have no issue with the chairman offering, taking guests. If he
the chairman can take whoever he wants.
If he pays for it, not the sponsorship.
And I think the thing with it is that what it doesn't do, and these people that go, I've got nothing against these people that go. It's not their fault. What it is it's the club making decisions that are then starting to, make division in the fan base, rather than getting a fan base together. And when you're talking about one family, one dream, I think you've got to make sure that you don't make any divisions in the fan base. That's my thing. So I've got, as I say, nothing against anybody that's going, and nothing against anybody that has gone in the past or anything like that. I think that it's the club that need to do it. That's
not a perfect example, though, because, like you say, John now cannot go into that ballot because he's been previously, but the same people, whether they are guests of the chairman or not, are making it on repeated trips. Now, how is that fair to a supporter like John, you and John travel week in, week out, go on holidays during the international break, so you are around to support the club infallibly, and then you get that. It's just not on. It's not fair at all.
I think they need to stop doing these things and start to think how they can involve everybody rather than involving a select few. They've done it a few times, and I think Oliver's put, John's always been someone that's fixated on PR and social media reach. The Turkey trips created a lot more trouble and division than it was worth doing them in the first place. And I agree with you, Oliver. That is the exact thing. They shouldn't have done it in the first place. I think that maybe to do it once was okay, just to sort of say to the fans, look, we're doing this, that, or the other, and it maybe entices people to become members and stuff like that. But to do it over the amount of times that they've done it, and then they started once with so many people, and then they dropped it, and then they dropped it, and they dropped it. I think that they need to stop it for me. That's what I think on that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, it's that situation, isn't it, where it can create more division than actually uniting people. And at the moment, we need to try and unite people. And I think that maybe, my thoughts on the atmosphere in the stadium is the atmosphere is not brilliant at the moment. I think that the atmosphere could be better in the stadium. And I do wonder if these things don't help to create a good atmosphere in the stadium as well. So that's my thoughts on it. Hope I've come across all right. Hope I've not upset too many people. But I'll always say as I see it, and I think that's what we've got to do on these podcasts, because that's what we're here for, is to say it as we see it. Got another comment. Cox there, yeah, that's it. Thought on Destan leaving for Kumas. Birmingham glad to be rid, but won't be the first team player. We are getting their previous club. Didn't like them, but they end up doing well for us.
Yeah, Dilla.
Yeah. There is that, isn't they? So Destan, what's the thoughts on Destan leaving then for you, James?
I think he has sort of had his chance to an extent, but he's suffered with injuries, hasn't he, since the start of the season? I think he came with a knee injury, and that's reoccurred. So he's been carrying a knock all this time, and he's not really been as available as we've needed him to be. And I think if the recruitment team are looking at Kumas and thinking that he'll be an invaluable player to us when we need in squad depth for the final run in the season, he's going to be more reliable than what Destan is, then I don't really have any problem with it. I mean, he scored 2 goals from us, and I think when he was coming on sort of towards the back end of games, he was okay. I actually thought, I think QPR, did he start for us in that game when we lost? And out of everyone on the pitch, thought he had an all right game, but it's just kind of been one of them players where exactly you just don't know whether or not he's going to really be there when we need him. So this Kumas, I think if the recruitment team have been looking at him and think he can fit into Sergei's system, and Sergei can sprinkle a bit of gold just on a player who's maybe not made the best impression at another club, then I'm all for it if I think they can do it.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's a bit of a mixed one, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, he's looked all right in parts as Destan, but as James said, he has been injured quite a lot. You know, if you're looking to maybe get in that, well, top 6, top 2 or something, you need everybody fit, don't you? And he has been injured, I think, a couple of times, to be fair. He come with an injury. I don't mind him moving on. You know, I mean, this Kumas, I wouldn't have thought he's that bad a place. Maybe he had a bad time at Birmingham. I don't know. They might not have been playing him how much as he wanted to. Might have been playing him out of position. I've no idea. But, you know, you want somebody who's fit. I mean, if you've got a fit squad, it gives you a good chance. If you've got a lot of injuries, chances are less, aren't they? You know, you want a fit squad. This lad's fit, and Destan, I think, if somebody's taking him on, they're taking a bit of a risk because he's only just been injured, and I thought he was still injured, to be quite honest. But
Yes.
so I think there is a bit of a risk there. So I think if somebody's willing to take him on, we're getting somebody who's fit, a young lad, maybe something to prove. I don't think I'm wrong with it, really.
Kamara's back at the club with us, says Louise. Is he injured, Jan?
Yeah, he's got his foot's in a boot, isn't it? But evidently he's only back temporarily. It said they're keen to keep him at Getafe. I mean, I think the thing, I have no issue with Destan going. I think he's had enough chances. And I've put my faith in this recruitment team. I don't think he was probably their choice, if I'm, being cynical about it all, because he came from a Turkish club. He's gone to a Belgian club that's owned by a Turkish bloke that evidently is known to our chairman. And that's where that other guy went into it that we abandoned, Lou, whatever you call him. Come on, James, help me.
Is it Louis or something like that?
That's
I can't even remember now.
That's where he is, yeah. That's where, and it was that club that were going to let us have free game, wasn't it? Like, who supposedly worth 10 million for nothing. I just think somebody's working some magic somewhere. So he can go for me. Yeah, he can go for me.
There's lots of magic tricks that seem to happen, and there's obviously some ones getting waved in the right places. And speaking of ones getting waved, Lee says, how about a drum, Adi? Would that improve the atmosphere? Definitely not for me, Lee. I don't want a drum. There's a song about the drum. We won't do it on the radio, but there is a song about the drum with this thing very regularly when we go to grounds that have got a drummer.
Something about banging a drum, isn't it? Yeah.
It's something about banging a drum, Jan. That's as far as we will go with that one. We're not going any further with it at all. That's it. No more. Shush, Jan. We can't do any more than that. So yeah, no, I don't think we need don't need a drum. Lee says that he knows the song. I'm sure you do, Lee. I'm sure you've been to enough games to know that song very well, Lee. I can tell you that.
A guitarist. We don't want a drummer get a
girl
guitarist.
Girl music. I know. But did you watch last night? We watched the Grimsby and wherever it was, Colchester game. I think it was Colchester, something beginning with a C. And first, I have to say it was a very exciting game. But first of all, you do realise that we learn about quality, but my goodness, our quality is superb compared to that. But when they score, there's girl music. Well, it can't have been last night because the other team didn't score, but whatever it was, John and I were watching a game. And they absolutely, it might have been the night before when whoever played Coventry. The girl music really got the fans going. But the other thing we said, remember them like clapper things and paper things?
Yeah.
They used to get the crowd going, and we used to have flags, didn't we, on our seats?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those things. It's hard to know what will get the crowd going
stadium.
more. I think it's modern stadiums. I think when they moved the fans to the north stand, there was in the east stand before that, and I do think that's made it a bit harder because I'm not sure that everybody got to sit together that wanted to.
But they complained the other way, didn't they? When the Alarms moved them from the north stand to the east stand,
it's hard, isn't it?
Can you?
No, you can't. Lee says Norwich, Jan.
Yeah, that was it, Lee. The other night, the game, yeah.
So I think that the atmosphere does need to improve. I think that, Saturday, the crowd started to get going a little bit, but then it was like, oh my God, are we going to win this? Because you sort of like, oh no. And I think, that nervous energy can get onto the pitch a little bit because they can feel the nerves and stuff like that.
And press, and the crowd gets behind them. They do.
Coxie says that we still have a surprise signing that Baz says we've been working on for 6 weeks. I'm very
How about him
intrigued
from
to
Chelsea
see
that-
who it is. Baz says
Sterling.
it will be a very good signing if we can pull it off.
Raheem Sterling, I'm going for.
Is that what you're going for, is it?
Yeah, probably ain't a ball. I just
His
know he's been
wages.
today.
Interesting that fans say they don't want the drum, but bang on the walls instead. Goal music was Norwich, really got fans involved, and they ended up winning. Maybe just need some. I don't know. It's a difficult one to do, and it's a difficult one to get it right. You know, to try and bring on the fans and try and get them involved a little bit more. It's something that needs to happen at the MKM Stadium, because I think that sometimes in games we need a little bit more noise level, to be quite honest with you. I think that we're low at times, and it does sort of, you know, maybe not play to our advantage, especially when there's a big away following from the other team. I think that, you know, you hear some noises from some stadiums and when you go away and you think they seem a bit louder than us, and I'm not sure whether
Not
it's
many
just
though,
me.
Eddie. We go to them all, as you know. Not
Yeah, I
many
know.
at all.
Yeah.
It's
On
the fear
to
factor at home myself. I think everybody's fearful when you're playing at home. You want to expect to win. The home team are always probably favourites to win, or should be most of the time. I think there's a fear factor from the fans if things don't work out quickly. And the
Yeah.
away fans are coming away for an away day, aren't they? Having a bit of fun, probably
Yeah.
had a few drinks, and they're a bit happier. And if they get a draw, they're probably happy. If they get a win, they're ecstatic. So I just think it's that sort of fear factor from the home fans. I think it is quiet at the MKM, but I think it's more the fear factor. If we went a couple of goals up early, I think the crowd would be a lot happier. But once you start
This
losing a
isn't-
goal, like what on Saturday where they was pressing us, people start to get a bit worried because we want the points, don't we? We want to get in that top 6, and that's the thing. And I just think it's a bit fear factor.
I mean, God knows why we want to get in the top 6, because we're then going to end up in the Premier League the season after and probably have an absolute season of hell, aren't we? But we're all still relishing the chance of that. I know, and I know why we are. And I get it. Don't worry. I want the same. I want to be in the top 6. I want to be in the top 2, and I'd like to get promoted. It'd be really good. But then you sort of think, what's the next season going to be like? A few more comments coming in. We'll have these, and then we'll talk about this game against Blackburn on
That's
Saturday.
the team.
There you go. Westerlo have a liar as well as there you go. And Lee says it needs bringing up at fans committee meetings. There doesn't seem to have been one for a fair while now, and I agree with
They
you, Lee.
cancelled the last one.
It would help if all stands made a noise and not 2. Yeah, the prawn sandwich brigade, Jan, they don't do much. We need you to get in there and get standing up
If
and
you
try
ask
to get
the
these
people-
fans going.
You ask the people around me, I do make a noise. John tells me to shut up. But the grumpy, I get it. The
There's plenty
miserable.
tell me to shut up around me as well.
They
Jan.
moan all the time.
It just goes back though to what you were saying earlier, Eddie. Like, this is all stemming in from the issues with the equity around, this one family stuff.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can keep, without blowing smoke up any orifice. It's something that needs sorting out, because we're in that modern day era now where fan experience on the day is massive. You look at Leeds, Man City, Arsenal, all those sort of clubs, and they have, they're really praised for the atmosphere that they create and that fan experience they have on the day. It's something the club need to do something about, and again, it just feeds back into the equity crap.
Yeah, and I agree. We'll have this last comment and then we'll go to this Saturday game. California Tiger says, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but do you think Geldart was injured longer than he actually was? I found it coincidental he came back when the window for Leeds to recall him was to close. I said the same, California Tiger, so I agree with you. I think there could be something in that. If we go to the Premier League, it is VAR rounds. It will be a must watch, says Oliver. There maybe will be. Yeah, you're right.
That'll be horrible.
That'll be a good reel.
Louise says we started off in the West. Started off in the West Stand and got told to be quiet. East Stand now for years. Yeah, I'm in the East Stand. I don't get told off as very often, but sometimes there's a non-expletive that pops out my mouth that shouldn't do, and that's when I get told off. More is when that happens. John Huzzle, South Stand solo, tries to get the South Stand going, but they don't join in with him. I have seen him doing it, and he does try very hard, but it is hard to get him to join in. So on to this game with Blackburn on Saturday. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff, a normal time. Blackburn in the bottom 3, not having a very good time of it. 3 losses, 2 draws in the last 5 games. We've had 4 wins and 1 loss in the last 5 games. It should be a away win, really, James.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, because with the way Balishmail tends to set up his teams, they're going to make it really difficult for us. I've been having a look across a few of their fixtures, and they haven't won in 9 games, and 5 of those have been draws. So that's kind of where I'm thinking, it could end up being a little bit of a banana skin for us. The teams like Blackburn, you think in order to get to where we want to be, these are the type of games you need to be winning, as well as the teams around you, and just making sure we're keeping pace with the other sides that are going to pick up points more than likely on the weekend, like Middlesbrough and Ipswich. But I do think it's going to be really tough for us, and I can only see if we do end up winning the game it by being like a one goal scoreline or something like that. So I think it's going to be tough. I'm hoping that maybe we'll see a bit more of a cameo from Dowell this time around. I know we only got to see him for a few minutes on the weekend, and I think he got carded in like the first 30 seconds of his debut. So, but yeah, looking forward to seeing him and possibly McNair. And I'm hoping that we see a start from Yu Hirakawa, because someone mentioned it earlier, but he was absolutely magnificent on the weekend, and I'm really liking the fact we've managed to bring him through the door this season.
Agree with you. Yeah, I like you. I think he's doing really well for us. I think he could be an astute signing by the club come the end of the season. But James is right, Paul, isn't he? Sometimes these are the games that become a bit of a banana skin for Hull City.
We haven't actually scored against them, have we, in the 2 games we've played, have we? Was it 0-0 in the cup and 3-0 in the league? I know we had some, virus in the club at the time, but I think they're in a false position myself, Blackburn. They've had a lot of injuries, and I think a few are coming back. And like James said, they've drawn, was it 5, you said, James, out of 9 or something?
Yeah.
It proves they're not that bad a side. They're maybe not scoring the goal. They've got particularly goal scorer, but they don't let many in, I don't think. So I think if we're going to win, it'd probably be a tight game. 1-0. They'll probably go back and win 3-0. I've said that now, but they are that. I don't think they're as bad as the league position makes out. I think they've had a lot of injuries, and I think to be fair, they made it tough that time when they come with the FA Cup side, didn't they? It wasn't easy, and so I don't think it's going to be a gimme. I mean, I want us to get 3 points, but I'm more wanting to pick up a few points at home as well. They've got, is it 4 games at home after that? I think something like that. And I think they're the games we need to be picking up points. Also getting some at Blackburn, but I think if we get a 1-0 win, that'll be as much as we get. Could easily be a 0-0 draw, I think, because I don't think they allow many goals and they don't score many. So I think it could be a 0-0 draw. Hopefully not, and we come away with 3 points. That's the main thing.
Would you take a draw, Becca?
I absolutely would. But I do think we've got to go and get the 3 points. We need as much momentum as we can possibly find. If we can win on Saturday, and then Watford for me is going to be my turning point as to whether I can actually buy into this promotion push. If we win Saturday, win on Tuesday, I am booking my Wembley hotel, no doubt about it.
Well, you can do it so that you can cancel, up to the day, Becca. So
That's
it's
what
not
we've done.
bad,
That's what we've done.
But Blackburn have only scored 14 goals at home all season. We need to be going and being on that front foot and really pushing and attacking them. We've got fantastic away form in comparison, so it's ours to lose. I feel it's ours to lose on Saturday.
Big, strong army of travelling fans on Saturday. Need to keep on winning, says Lee. Jan, you'll be there with him, won't you?
Yeah, we'll be there. I mean, I agree that it could be a banana skin. I agree with what James said, and I have to say, Sean McLaughlin is the only of those players, Greavesy, Macca, and Alfie, that actually I thought was respectful of us when he came here.
I agree.
But I think they've got a lot of issues off the field and fan protests and all of that, which must impact on them. So I do think it could be a bananas game, but I'm going for a City win, and I would desperately love us to stuff Watford on Tuesday night.
Yes, definitely so. Oliver says you'd hope that we can go to Blackburn and show our authority against them on the pitch. They'll undoubtedly try and make it a scrappy game given their perilous position. I'm sure they will. Louise says that she's going for 2-1 to City. California Tigers going 3-0 to City. And Becca, forget Wembley, automatic promotion.
Yeah, that's what John says.
Says Lee. I haven't booked my hotel yet, but I may do soon. I aren't going to tell you what hotel I'm going to book because then everybody will book it and it won't be left for me. So, yes, but I'll be going to my usual hotel, put it that way, that I go to when we visit Wembley. Wembley at one point was our second home, so I know the hotel quite well.
Can I just interrupt you?
Yeah.
So when we go to Wembley and they charge you 70, 80 quid a ticket, are you going to pay it or are you not?
I've paid. Hey, Jan, let me say about this.
You can't have it both
No. Jan, I've paid the £34 for the Chelsea ticket, which I very much begrudge, but that is our club that is setting the price. Wembley will be setting the price
That's not
for
quite
the
true.
ticket.
You have to agree it in an FA Cup game. You have to agree it with the away team.
Yeah, well, our club have set the price because Chelsea would have let you charge whatever you wanted because they can charge whatever they want to their fans to come. So our club set the price. It's not Chelsea that have set the price. So
you're a hypocrite.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
what I think, Jan, is I think that another reason probably why we don't have as good atmosphere as the club is because we price people out of being able to afford tickets. Your normal working person who struggles from day to day, we price them out of being able to afford tickets. And that could be another reason why the atmosphere is not as good. And, the ticket, my pass went up this year. I saw on Twitter the other day, fair comment. If we do go up to the Premier League, how much is it going to put your price of your pass up by at that point? And it's a really good question, and that's one reason that you maybe think I don't want to go to Premier League, because you can guarantee it's going to go to, probably mine will go up by, I would think, 15 quid a month if we go to the Premier League. So, I think they do price normal fans out of football, and this is a bit of the problem why atmospheres probably aren't as good as they used to be years ago when, normal fans could afford to go watch football.
I don't agree, and you will never agree on it. But you need to look at Middlesbrough and Stoke. So they're the two cities that are like demographically, socioeconomically the same as us. See how much they're charging. Our tickets are still some of the cheapest in the Championship.
Whether Middlesbrough or Stoke charge what they charge, it's still not right because you're still pricing your normal working person out of football. People who are normal working people have to choose whether they can heat or eat. So then when you're asking them whether they can heat or eat, and then you're telling them that they're going to have to pay 34 or 44 quid to go watch a game of football, they definitely can't afford to do that. And that's what I'm saying. They're pricing normal people out of football. That's the thing. So what's your team for Saturday, Becca?
Oh, on Saturday, I am going with Panda at the back, Coyle at right back, preferably. McNair, I'm not sure how fit he's going to be. We had a problem last year, didn't we, with Crooksy getting up to fitness. So I'd probably like to see him come on in the second half. I'd start with Egan and Hughes at centre back for Mayweather at left. I think it might come a bit soon for Ryan Giles this Saturday. Across the midfield, Slater, definitely. Emir, John Lundstrom, if Crooks can't start. Up top, Gellert, McBurney, Joseph.
Okay.
Don't ask me, I'd go exactly the same.
Okay, I will ask you then, James, what's your team?
Same team, but you on the left instead of Joseph.
Yeah. Okay, Paul?
Yeah, I probably agree with James, to be honest. I don't know about Firmino. I didn't think he looked as good on Saturday.
But Jacobs had a really good game when he came on.
We could maybe put Jacobs there, but
yeah, I might go Jacobs at the left back. I think I probably would go with you. And I think, Geldart, I'd start him and then you'd have to take him off because, although the comment further up the page said that, he wonders if he could have come back earlier. And I agree. I think he could have come back earlier. He was tired in that game on Saturday, tired out. And you can see, that we needed to take him off. Just waiting for the comments to come up. John says Blackburn are 23rd on home form and City are second on away form.
Tell him to shut up. That's just banana skin.
If you open the door, you can shout to him and tell him that, Jan.
He's at the other end of the house.
Louise says it's not just the ticket price, it's the ticket, it's the parking, it's the food and the drink, and it all adds up, and that's the truth. Lee says that QPR are one of the dearest in the division. Well, they will because they're in that there London, Lee. So in that there London, everything is more expensive than it is up north. And that's why a lot of these Londoners end up moving to Hull because it's so cheap to buy a house in Hull. So, yeah, I get what you're saying there.
It wasn't cheap.
No, I'm not saying I said the houses are cheap, Jan. It was nothing to mention about Hull City tickets being cheap.
Cost of living is cheaper.
I was better off under the previous regime to what I am under this regime.
Really?
And to be fair, I was better off under the previous regime than I was under Pearson. Because I think under Adam Pearson at one point I was paying 560 for me.
Yeah, we were to be fair. Yeah.
So yeah, I was better off. I was better off under the previous regime than I am under this regime. And yeah, Pearson, he was just trying to get money in because he didn't have enough to do what he wanted to do. I think is the thing. But yeah, it's been a great Target Talk tonight. We've had a great debate. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. We will be back next week from 7 o'clock where we'll be talking about Saturday's game with Blackburn. And also that home game on Tuesday, which is the rearranged Watford game. So I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back next Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Thanks for coming on, Becca.
Thanks, Eddie. Have a good night.
And you. Cheers, Jan.
Thanks, Eddie. Enjoyed it.
Hey, Jan. Thanks for agreeing with me at one point as well.
I know. Put it in your diary. I keep telling you.
James, good to have had you on tonight.
Yeah, cheers, Eddie. Good to be on.
And good to have you on, Paul.
Good to see you, yeah. Nice
we'll all be back next Wednesday from 7. Don't forget the main To Hull and Back podcast on a Sunday night. If you didn't watch that, you can watch them both again online, and you can watch what we've had to say on previous episodes as well. So yeah, have a good night. Up the Tigers, and let's hope that we're talking about a victory or a couple of victories next week.